said. Correction, intruded Abbott. There's an original and 2 copies, and they're in vaults at the Pentagon, the CIA, and the National Security Council. Access to them is limited to a select group, each one among the highest-ranking members of his unit. Bourne came out of Medusa. A cross-checking of those names with the bank records would produce his name. Someone gave them to Carlos. Stevens stared at the monk. Are you saying that Carlos is wired into men like that? It's an extraordinary charge. It's the only explanation, said Webb. But why would Bourne ever use his own name? It was necessary, replied Abbott. It was a vital part of the portrait. It had to be authentic. Everything had to be authentic. Everything. Authentic? Maybe you will understand now, continued the Major. By tying the Saint-Jacques woman into millions supposedly stolen from the Gemeinschaft Bank, we're telling Bourne to surface. He knows it's false. Bourne to surface? The man called Jason Bourne, said Abbott, getting to his feet and walking slowly toward the drawn curtains, is an American intelligence officer. There is no Kane, not the one Carlos believes. He's a lure, a trap for Carlos. That's who he is, or was. The silence was brief, broken by the White House man. I think you'd better explain. The president has to know. I suppose so, mused Abbott, parting the curtains, looking absently outside. It's an insoluble dilemma, really. Presidents change. Different men with different temperaments and appetites sit in the Oval Office. However, a long-range intelligence strategy doesn't change, not one like this. Yet an offhand remark over a glass of whiskey in a post-presidential conversation, or an egotistical phrase in a memoir, can blow that same strategy right to hell. There isn't a day that we don't worry about those men who have survived the White House. Please, interrupted Stevens, I ask you to remember that I'm here on the orders of this president. Whether you approve or disapprove doesn't matter. He has the right by law to know, and in his name, I insist on that right. Very well, said Abbott, still looking outside. 3 years ago, we borrowed a page from the British. We created a man who never was. If you recall, prior to the Normandy invasion, British intelligence floated a corpse into the coast of Portugal, knowing that whatever documents were concealed on it would find their way to the German embassy in Lisbon. A life was created for that dead body. A name, a naval officer's rank, schools, training, travel orders, driver's license, membership cards in exclusive London clubs, and a half-dozen personal letters. Scattered throughout were